Welcome to Save Your Money, Save Your Teeth. It's the go-to podcast where curiosity meets dentistry, straight from the experts. I'm Jan, and I'm joined again by Dr. Clifford Yudelman from OptiSmile. We're ready to take a deep dive into the world of dental care from a consumer's perspective. If you're looking to brighten your smile or just maybe protect your wallet, we've got you covered with practical advice and the latest insights. So stick around and join us as we uncover the secrets to maintaining both your dental health and also your finances. Dr. Yudelman, welcome back. I see we're still with the Yachties.
Yes, we had such a good response to our Yachty podcast with so many Yachties coming from Cape Town and coming to OptiSmile. They've requested that I do a couple more. So we did the Invisalign for Yachties, and something that we do at OptiSmile a lot is teeth whitening and bonding. We have done special episodes on that, but there are specific things for Yachties, so we're going to do one on that. And then the last episode for Yachties will be about emergencies and other things specifically for Yachties, and that will wrap up. Next week we'll wrap up our Yachty podcast.
Okay, so today we're talking about cosmetic dentistry for Yachties, and that of course includes bleaching and bonding. Dr. Yudelman, why is having a bright, confident smile so important for Yachties in frontline guest service roles, and also how does it tie into overall professionalism on board?
Oh, that's a great question. Thank you. So a confident smile, sets the tone when you first greet your guests. People immediately notice the positive energy and professionalism. And in a luxury environment like yachting, appearances often matter as much as your skills. A bright smile can boost both your self-assurance and the guest's experience. And it's not just about aesthetics. Good oral health means, fewer issues mid-charter, and you can focus on top-tier service. We've seen crew members who've enhanced their smiles. They report that they feel a lot more at ease when they're interacting with the yacht owners and the prestige guests that they're usually rubbing shoulders with on board. And it can really help to elevate the yacht's reputation and the experience on board if everybody has beautiful smiles. And it's not even so much about beautiful smiles, it's about feeling confident when you smile.
Could you briefly outline the ABC approach, align, bleach and compensate bond, and also explain how bleaching and bonding fit in for those who either don't need alignment or have already finished with Invisalign?
The ABC, we call it ABC at OptiSmile. It's aligning, it's getting your teeth into the ideal position with aligning. We use Invisalign. You could get braces as well, which is not ideal, like we discussed last week. You can go back and listen to that. And then we brighten them or bleach them using teeth whitening. And we have done specific podcasts on our previous episodes about this. And then finally, we fine-tune the shape with composite bonding. And at OptiSmile, we use injection-molded composite bonding. And this works out really well. Some Yachties come to us with straight teeth. They've had Invisalign or braces when they were younger. In that case, we jump straight into whitening and then, if needed, bonding. One doesn't always have to have A plus B plus C. It could be any one of them or any combination. So if your teeth are already straight enough, or if you've had bleaching before, you could just bleach them, and then bonding alone, that can create a big transformation without any lengthy or additional orthodontic treatment. Composite bonding is often the finishing touch, where we correct minor chips or wear, we fill gaps, we reshape edges for a uniform polished look. It's kind of a very natural look, somewhat like what veneers were supposed to do, but without having that very white, very straight Hollywood sort of fake looking smile. If you go back and listen to our podcast about veneers, we talk about that. This is more just like making your teeth look the way they're supposed to look and giving you that confidence.
Okay, and what are the main differences between in-chair whitening and at-home whitening kits? And how can a yachty decide which option suits their busy on and off rotation best?
Yeah, look, in-chair whitening is faster. A lot of yachties that we see have only a brief stopover in Cape Town, and often they're wanting to do their injection molding or their bonding at the same visit. And if they're only here for 2 or 3 weeks, then the at-home, we'll talk about that in a second, but we combine in-chair whitening with at-home because it does give it a boost. If someone's here for a long time not in a hurry, then often I'll just tell them to do the at-home and to save their money in terms of not worrying about in-chair. But a lot of the time with the yachties, we do start off with an in-chair and take home. We always give an at-home kit afterwards because you can use the trays on board that you can touch up your teeth if you whiten your teeth, and then you have bonding. We give you retainers, which you could then use for touching up your whitening. And, the level of whitening with in-chair and take-home is similar, but the in-chair, like I said, is more instant and the at-home is gradual. And, we talk about your timeline. If you need just a refresh, if your teeth are perfect and you've had them whitened before and you just want to touch up a 2-session in-chair and maybe pick up some gel if you already have some trays. We really love working with the yachties. They understand how these things work, and a lot of people have already had some work done before, but sometimes people haven't been able to afford it before, and they've done they've had a few promotions, and now they've got some money to spend on their teeth and really help them with their confidence.
How does injection molded composite bonding differ from veneers or traditional bonding? And also, why might it be more appealing for yachties looking for efficient, minimally invasive smile enhancements?
Yeah, so exactly. Injection molded bonding is a very streamlined technique. We say less drilling, but in many cases, no drilling, no anesthetic. It's far fewer appointments. With veneers, there's more appointments, and also we have to drill away, in some cases, quite a bit of tooth. So fewer appointments and much more cost effective. Injection molded composite bonding is about a third of the cost of a bonded veneer. Because there's no lab work. Veneers require more tooth preparation, more lab work. A veneer, we can pay up to 4,000 Rand a veneer from a very good lab. Obviously, we use the best labs at OptiSmile, whereas injection molded bonding can be about 6,000 per tooth in total, which is obviously a lot less than a ceramic veneer. And the bonding is done in one session, whereas veneers can be 2 or 3 sessions. So obviously the bonding suits yachties with tight schedules. The material is very strong and easily shaped or polished for a natural look. And if it chips, it's much simpler to repair than a veneer. It's a great option for closing small gaps and evening out tooth edges or correcting subtle cosmetic imperfections quickly without committing to drilling down or filing away large amounts of tooth, which is often required for veneers. A lot of times the dentist won't actually tell patients how much drilling is required when it comes to traditional ceramic veneers, and people are becoming more aware of this. We've spoken about turkey teeth in previous podcasts.
Okay, and if someone has older fillings, crowns, or other existing dental work, does it complicate bleaching and bonding procedures, or can these new treatments blend seamlessly with the old ones?
Great question. We covered whitening quite extensively over about 4 or 6 podcasts last year, and this is a recap, but specifically for yachties, in that we usually will assess all your dental work first. Some old fillings might need an upgrade to ensure color consistency when you whiten. Crowns and veneers won't whiten like natural teeth. And for instance, if someone has a crown on a front tooth that's dark and they want to whiten their teeth very white, that crown will look even worse. So we always plan ahead of time and tell patients, if you whiten, we'll have to replace that crown or that veneer. So you don't want to go to a beauty salon or somewhere that doesn't take everything into consideration, because while you might save money in the short run, if it does work, you could have some surprise costs, matching veneers or crowns and having to replace them. And we can often blend bonding around existing restorations and make them look more uniform, without fully replacing everything. It's a great option. And, communication is key. We tailor a plan to ensure your final smile is, cohesive, balancing what needs to be refreshed while with what is still functional.
And for a yachty with a limited time in Cape Town, Doctor, perhaps only a quick turnaround between charters, what's the typical timeline for combining whitening and bonding so they can get a nice camera-ready smile fast?
Yeah, that's great. So a lot of time, if they've never been to OptiSmile before, we can do a free video consult with them. We've done video consults, as I think I mentioned last week or the week before, where people down in the engine room or up on the bridge or in their cabin, and we discuss what they need. They can book online to do a checkup or an examination and x-rays and a cleaning, and to get take-home trays all in one session, or even a big session, about a 3-hour session, which would include everything, a single in-chair whitening on the same day as the exam and the cleaning. We've tailored this especially for people from out of town, especially for like yachties and other visitors. And we can follow with bonding a week later. If you do any kind of whitening, you don't want to do any kind of bonding for about 7 to 10 days and after you've finished whitening. So, for instance, I saw a lady from Seattle earlier this week. We did her scans. We arranged for her bonding. The lab is already making her molds and designs, which she's approved. And she started with some trays, and she came in, saw the hygienist. She got a in-chair whitening. She's whitening further today, and then tomorrow she'll finish whitening, and then next Friday we'll do her injection molding, because she'll wait a week, and for the color to settle, and also for all the oxygen from the bleaching to come back out of the tooth. And then she'll be back on her way back. She's going on a safari and then back home. And that's a very similar turnaround that we can do for yachties. And we not only yachties, we get a lot of people doing that type of stuff from overseas, starting with a remote or a free video consultation. Scheduling is flexible. We work with different charter dates. Sometimes we'll do whitening now and give you trays, and you'll carry on for even up to a month, and then we see you for your injection molding next time. Depends on you. And some people do more than one in-chair, although I don't usually recommend it. I recommend just one double in-chair session and then your trays afterwards.
Okay, and which daily habits, like certain foods or drinks, should yachties modify while undergoing whitening or after getting composite bonding to ensure their results last as long as possible?
So it used to be that the composites that we used for bonding over time would get porous and absorb red wine and coffee and things like that. But to be honest, the new composites that we use for injection molding, they're unique materials. We've been doing them over 5 years, and we don't see any staining. With any filling or bonding or veneer or something, one can pick up a bit of stain right at the gum line or in between the teeth. Regular cleanings will remove that. If you do an in-chair whitening, they're still recommending that you don't eat or drink anything, like eat a curry or drink black coffee or espressos or red wine the first day. But if you're doing tray whitening, you can pretty much eat or drink what you want. So one doesn't have to worry. And once you're done with everything, you just keep going. So it's not a thing like, oh, I drink too much coffee, so I can't whiten my teeth. For bonding, you've got to be mindful of biting on very hard items like chewing on ice, or I tell people, don't cure rusks. People who chew on crab shells. I don't get to eat too many crabs, but I imagine on a yacht, one's probably eating some crabs and biting them out of the shell. Lamb chops, you want to be careful you don't bite into a bone like that. Ice will damage your own teeth as well. Good oral hygiene is important. Brushing twice a day and flossing prevents stains. And, regular checkups when you're away. Come back every 6 months, get a checkup, get a polish, and we'll see how everything's going. Yeah.
Doctor, do you recommend a phased approach, such as bleaching first and then bonding a few weeks later to get the best color match and also maintain that flexibility for the crew with their tight schedules?
Like I was saying, if we're bonding, we like to wait a week for the shade to settle down. And also, in certain cases, patients have never done any whitening and their teeth can be quite dark. And we might do what I said earlier, which is do an in-chair and take home and then worry about bonding or replacing crowns or something like that next time you're in town. We don't like to rush treatments at the expense of the final result. And the staggered plan is often less stressful. Patients can get used to their nice white teeth and then enjoy the bonding when the bonding is done. But in many, many cases, they're done one after another.
How do you handle color matching between bleached teeth and new composite material, making sure that the final smile looks natural and uniform?
We wait until the teeth have reached their final, stable shade after whitening. So generally we'll wait about a week. And we can estimate if the teeth might go a bit darker. The composites we use, blend seamlessly with the natural teeth underneath. They're very translucent. We don't like to use very opaque composites to change shades of teeth. We like to rather whiten teeth. And this, given most of the Yachties we see have very nice, good enamel and healthy teeth, we may do a quick polish or test the spot to confirm the match. In fact, when I do bonding, I always put the actual material onto the tooth first and cure it, and then discuss the shade with the patient, and we pick a shade together. And composite is easy to tweak and to fine tune.
Okay, and then finally, for any yachty who's on the fence about investing in bleaching or bonding, what is the single biggest benefit in terms of confidence and also guest perception or career advantage that you'd like to highlight, Doctor?
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there, because a bright, well-proportioned smile will give you an immediate confidence boost, especially if you have been feeling self-conscious, and this really resonates with the high-end guest interactions. Yachties need that professional edge. It's relatively quick. It's a minimally invasive way to level up your appearance without the downtime of major orthodontic or surgical procedures. And, the guests often perceive a healthy, confident smile as part of the overall luxury experience, and it makes you stand out as an attentive and polished professional. And, long term, it can help you feel better about your personal presentation. It opens doors to promotions, more guest-facing roles that I believe carry, higher salaries and more better tips, and just simply enhancing daily interactions on board. And, I believe these days there's so many people getting into the yachty lifestyle, and competition is quite stiff for jobs. And I mentioned in one of the previous podcasts that you have to have a nice photo on your CV with a boat in the background and a white shirt. And, if you've got a nice, big, broad, white smile on your CV, it may just be what tips the job in your favor and might help you get more jobs or a better job.
Excellent. Dr. Yudelman, thank you so much. Tell us, what can we look forward to next week?
Oh, it's a big surprise, but mainly about emergencies, preventing emergencies, and what to do in the case of emergencies for yachties.
Looking forward to it, Doctor. Thank you so much. And that wraps up another edition of Save Your Money, Save Your Teeth. Thanks to you once again, Dr. Yudelman. And also to our listeners, thanks for tuning in. Do share this podcast with everybody, especially if you have a yachty or yachties in your family. Also remember, while we strive to provide valuable insights with this podcast, always consult with your own dental professional for advice tailored to your personal health. Don't forget to subscribe for more enlightening discussions. Join us again next time as we continue to explore the fascinating intersection of dental health and financial savvy. Until then, keep smiling and taking great care of your teeth.
Discover the world of dental excellence with OptiSmile. Join us for a weekly podcast featuring Dr. Clifford Yudelman, a seasoned expert with 40 years of dental experience across 4 continents. Gain unique insights and expert dental advice by visiting optismile.co.za for articles that illuminate the path to optimal oral health. If you're seeking unparalleled dental care in Cape Town, get in touch with OptiSmile or book directly online on optismile.co.za. OptiSmile, where global expertise meets local care.